How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. We have to talk about a stock, a company here today that was absolutely decimated. They got destroyed all day long. They went down, down, and down. We saw a little glimmer of hope, and they kept on falling. Now, this company is one that I've talked about before. It's a retail favorite. I use it all the time, and a lot of other people have started using it recently. The thing is, their revenue growth is extreme. They've gone up 16x over the last quarter, and they just announced some big news after hours. And the company we're looking at today is Voyager Digital. So they went down significantly today from $13.50 down to $11.67. Oh my gosh, right? But they announced some numbers after hours that I want to bring to your attention. Now, I'll give you my opinion. You can take a look at it yourself, formulate your own opinion. Just know I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not an analyst. I can't tell you what to do. I can't tell you what to look at. But I'll tell you what I'm seeing. Now, if you guys don't mind, you can hit that like button down below the video. I appreciate it. I don't just make videos on green days. I make them on red days for stocks I like. And if you guys want, you can join the Patreon down below. See what I'm buying. Now, I've been buying Voyager Digital for a while. I bought the dip today. We'll see how it goes long term, but I'm pretty bullish on it over the long term. If you guys want to try out Voyager to know what you're buying, you can try out the link down below to Voyager. You get some free money. Just deposit $100 and trade $100 on their platform. So Voyager Digital has been in a death spiral here for a long time. Let's take a look at the 1 month here. It was sitting around $15, $16, and then the last couple days, really this week, just fallen from $16 down to $11. Pretty rough week for Voyager. Now, let's take a look at the year to date. It went from a $3 stock all the way up to a $30 stock and back down. So you're buying this for significantly less money than you would have bought it a couple months ago. So let's take a look at it today. Why did it fall? Okay, well, crypto has been soft. Bitcoin fell to 31,500 and stayed there all day long. We haven't seen that in a little while. We've seen it drop quickly and then come back up, but not really stay down there. We saw some weakness in the market overall. Indexes are still near all-time highs, but we had the NASDAQ down almost 1% here today. There's definitely some fear. We have some other news. So we had a bullish article there from Seeking Alpha, but we actually have an article by Seeking Alpha, and this is kind of around the same time that started to plummet today, comparing Voyager Digital and Celsius networks on valuation in business. This article talks about how Celsius is a better bang for your buck. But they say Voyager is still a great company in there, but I think that is a headline that some people didn't want to see. Now, of course, I think there are short sellers out there, right? There are definitely short sellers on this company that want to see it go down. I mean, heck, it's had an amazing ride. Like I said, it's still up 300% throughout the year. If we look at the 1 year here, it's up way more than that. It was a $1 or 1 cent stock here in 2018. It was a 10, 20 cent stock last year in March. Now it's just had an amazing ride. So you can see it has had an amazing ride recently, but it actually fell down about 60%. So what can we do? What's happening? Why am I actually excited? Well, they actually had some pretty big news here today. So what is happening? Well, they announced their next quarter results, their preliminary results. Now, they didn't get much into them, and I'll show you them here in a second. They gave us some big numbers. They gave us some headline numbers, but they did not dig in real deep. This is not their quarterly earnings. This was just, hey, I think they've gotten smashed, and now they're trying to put out an update for all their investors so they aren't worried. I mean, I saw people tweeting about it today, and people are saying basically the company has forgotten about us. They don't care. They're just worried about marketing their own coins and stuff like that. They're just worried about making sure that their stickers on a NASCAR car. So I don't think that's what they're doing. I think they're focusing on the business and not really focused on the price as much because they don't mind it falling. The reason I say that, this article actually came out today, talk about Voyager Digital and how bullish they are on Voyager Digital. And they started to buy back shares. So you don't see this from new companies very often, right? Especially a company that's growing revenue so quickly, for them to start buying back shares is quite odd. But the thing is, they were in a really good capital position. They had $150 million recently after a capital raise when they were much cheaper. So they were actually able to raise a decent amount of capital, and then they went up to a high valuation, and then came back down and said, hey, we're too cheap now. Things have changed way too much. Back when they raised the money, they did not have close to the amount of revenue they have now. So they decided, hey, we're way too cheap. They started to buy back shares back in June. So they started to buy back shares. This article goes through how they're going to expand into stocks, banking, options, and other things too. It's kind of an interesting article, but let's take a look at the news that came today. Fiscal fourth quarter revenues expected, and their quarters are off. So this is essentially the second quarter of this year, expected to be between 103 and 107 million. Funded accounts grow 146% from previous quarter to over 665,000. Verified users grow 75% from the previous quarter to just over 1.75 million. Now, they want to increase this to 10 million users by the end of the year. They are really focused on marketing right now. They want to get as many users on their platform as possible, and that makes sense because they make $100 per month per user on average. It only costs them $40 to market, and then they get $100 a month. I mean, what if I told you you could have a business where after 2 weeks, whatever money you put in it, it pays you back, and then it pays you that amount every single month, right? If you put in $10,000 into that, you would be getting about $20,000 a month. Of course, everyone would do that, right? Everyone would put as much money as they could get into it. But there's a limit, right? They can't put in as much money as possible, and it doesn't scale up like that, right? So they have to find the medium ground. But you can see total funded accounts exceeded 665,000. Basis points per trade continue to exceed 100 basis points for the fiscal fourth quarter. This reflects continued growth of our platform, with revenues up more than 65% from the March quarter. Although we have seen a significant decrease in crypto market volume since mid-June, we continue to see significant net new funded account growth, net asset inflows, and consistent basis points on spread revenues on our platform continue through today. So that's important. Revenue is probably going down a little bit. So they're seeing a lot of, you can see here, they say we continue to see net new funded account growth, new asset inflows, or net asset inflows. So that's important, but volume's still going down. So if this continues, it might not be great for them the next quarter. So they do need to have more volume, or at least pick up a little bit. But if they continue to add clients to their system or to their platform, that will definitely smooth out the ride. They say we continue to advance our marketing efforts and move forward on a host of important initiatives, including the launch of the Voyager loyalty program. This is set to start in September, and Voyager's payment processing capabilities. Now, if you want to know more about that program, I'll link to a video on the end screen about it. I talked about it recently and why you really should own some if you have assets on their platform, why you should own some of their own token, because it's going to be an awesome program for anyone that takes advantage of it. They also started to repurchase shares, 250,000 in the open market. Now this is only 3.5 million or so. Now this is when they were a little bit more expensive, so maybe $4 million worth of shares, but it's still something, right? I mean, they're between 1.5 and 2 billion in market cap. It's hard to see exactly what they're worth. Every single website says something different, but you can see that they are buying back shares. So they said that they bought them under the company's share buyback program and have since canceled these shares and made the appropriate filings with the relevant regulatory bodies. So those are just off the market. They're making it more. They're making it more and more attractive to investors because they're buying back shares. Now, they have a lot of cash. They're bringing in a lot of cash. They have to have somewhere to put it, right? They're actually working at a pretty high operating profit. Last quarter, they had 50%. I can't wait to see their new numbers. I can't wait to see their next quarterly results and see how much cash they're sitting on now, where all the money's going. But this is a great update. On a day where we're down 13%, I think it's really important for investors to remember why they're interested in this company. Are you vested in it for the next month, or are you invested in it because you believe in crypto and you think that this is severely undervalued? Right now, I think this company, sitting where it is now, let's look here. It's about 2.08 billion in Canadian, which works out to be about 1.55 or so billion in the US, but let's just take a look. I'm just pulling out my calculator. 1.56, so pretty close. $1.56 billion market cap. Right now, at their run rate, they are, just based on this quarter, going to have 400 million in revenue. So we have a company that is sitting at a 3.9 price to sales ratio just based on this last quarter. So kind of like a forward-looking run rate price to sales. And they're growing very quickly. I mean, we're talking about 60% quarter over quarter after growing 1,600% quarter over quarter. And we're not going from small numbers to small numbers here. We're talking about tens of millions of dollars. So we're growing quite quickly. They have a great cash position still. I mean, we're talking about 9 figures in cash. And they still, even if they stayed at the same revenue, they could be quite profitable if they just stopped marketing so much, if they stopped some of the expenses, but they're growing quite quickly. So why not continue to become bigger and bigger, right? Reinvest the money back into the company. So I think we're sitting at an all right spot. I bought more shares today. I bought more shares yesterday. If it keeps on falling, I'm going to keep on buying more. Some people give me a hard time because they're like, oh, well, you just have money to keep on putting in stocks. Like you have money coming in all the time. Well, everyone has money coming in at certain points, right? I mean, most people have a job. Most people are making money every couple weeks. So I think we're all in different situations. Some people make 10 grand that are watching this video. Some make 2 grand. Some make millions. So we're all in different situations. And that's where I think it is important to make sure that you tailor it to your situation. I put in the amount of money I put in because of the amount of income I'm making and because of my risk tolerance. We all have to make different choices. But at this price, I think if you are bullish on crypto at all, this company is going to do quite well. I mean, look where it was 3 months ago. So back in April, at the beginning of April, we were at $29 a share. At that point, we had significantly less revenue. We didn't even have our third quarter results yet. I believe it was May 25th that we got our last results. I could be wrong. That might be CleanSpark. But I don't think we actually had our results yet. We knew that the crypto space was growing quite quickly. We saw updates. But at that point, we were maybe half the revenue, maybe less than half the revenue that we are now. And at this point, we are growing so quickly and our price is down 60%. So I feel like we're in a pretty good situation. Of course, if you bought at $29 and panic sold today, it kind of stings to see this update after the market closes. But if you guys want this, if you guys want to see like my opinion on stuff, you can check out the link down below to Patreon. Sometimes I think just someone telling you to calm down and it'll be okay is really invaluable. So thank you guys so much. If you guys want to check out Voyager, you can check out the link down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.